Hey guys, I'm going to do a little experiment here. These are for grade 7s and 8s. This has everything to do with density. It also has to do with heat and how heat changes the ability for things to mix, but also how density, heat changes density as well. You could do this at home. Make sure you wear some oven mitts when handling the hot liquid, but what you need are 2 clear glasses that have a smooth top that can fit together. So these will be able to fit like so. You will also need a kettle to boil some water. You'll need some ice cubes that you'll need to smash up. So I'm going to do that right now. Alright, so take those ice cubes, some of them, put them in one of the cups of water. And then fill it to the brim with cool water. I forgot to mention you should have a tray at the bottom just to make sure you don't make a mess. So I'm just gonna fill this up. Perfect. Okay, next thing, so that I'm not sure if these glasses are heat safe. Some glasses will crack if you have too much heat. I've put some warm liquid in there, not super cold, not super hot, and I'm gonna pour some boiling water in this right to the brim. There we go. All right, the last thing you need is some food coloring. I made a mistake. I didn't check that my food coloring bottles were actually full, so they're run out. So what I'm going to use instead, I'm not sure if this will work, is some Jello powder. So I'm going to just switch the sides of these. I'm going to put the red in the hot water. So that, ooh, that's pretty hot. I'm going to put red in the hot. And I'm going to put green in the cold. So green is cold, red is hot, like fire. And let's see what happens here. So I'm going to pour these in at the same time. Just a little bit, a couple drops. I was going to show for the grade 7s didn't work. I'll have to make a different video for that. But for the grade 8s, we've got red for hot, green for cold. What I'm going to do now is take this card, place it over top the cold so that I can flip the cold water on top of the hot. Place it there, and then I'm going to pull the card out once I have this lined up. See what happens to the hot. It moves up, and where does the cold go? It's hard to see, it went down. So the hot water it went up, which, as we learned last activity, we learned that the less dense something is, the more it moves up. And if we think about particle theory, we know that there are particles, little tiny pieces in all substances, and the hot particles, they have more heat, which is more energy. More energy means that they move around faster, and if they move around faster, they're going to want to spread out so they don't collide as much, which means that the particles spread out, which means they take up more volume, and when we increase the volume, it lowers the density. So that's why the hot water spread upwards, and why you'll see a little bit of a darker red at the top and still a tiny bit of green right at the bottom. This time we're going to do the opposite. I'm going to flip the hot on top of the cold. So red is hot, green is cold. We're going to see what happens here. I'm hoping that this one will be able to see something a little better. But if we think about it, we'll be putting the hot, less dense on top, and the cool on the bottom. What do we think is going to happen? Make some predictions. Let's flip this. And let's pull this out. Oh, tore it to pieces. No, that didn't work at all.
Like a big index card, a thicker index card, and a second one if you're gonna do it as.
We'll see that the cool water is still at the bottom and the hot is on top, and it's just slowly mixing between. Some is leaking out as well because I don't have this airtight. So I hope with this you're able to see that different temperatures of the same substance can cause the density to be different. I'm going to post another video that I have that's hopefully going to show the experiment a little better, but we'll keep this for the explanation. Now feeling this whole glass feels approximately the same temperature. There's a little bit of a cooler feeling at the bottom where it's kind of got a little bit of that yellowy green, but here on this one it's cold at the bottom, and all the way at the top it's still warm, which matches the color that there is. I encourage you to give this a try. Again, you need food coloring, 2 different colors, you need a kettle, you need ice, you need water, you need a tray, you could use a pan as well to make sure you don't make a big mess, and you need some sort of thick card or flat piece of metal or plastic that you're able to pull out quickly. I do recommend a flat piece of plastic if you have one. That's what I've found I've had the most success with in the past.